Back from Italy, there's Bob Kurtzman working on Henrietta arms. Look at him, all fresh and ready to work after having taken the Pretorius creature and doing all that work on it. I think that's Howard sculpting some. Of course, it's Howard. Look at that arm. Sculpting. I don't know if those are. This might be possession. Back of the hand possession appliances. They might be Vine appliances for Cassie Wesley as Bobby Joe. And I think Mike is putting the finishing touches on his Linda body. You see how he moved the Roma up over the wax arms that he sculpted. He sculpted the arms down to almost skeletal pieces and then put Roma flesh on top of it, so it really had a lot of depth to it. So that's very, very nasty. There's a decapitated stump. You know, Doug Beswick did the stop motion of this sequence. I remember that when it came time to, they were saying, "Oh, we really want to do this stop motion dance sequence," and I had just worked with Doug on Aliens, you know, prior to this, and I said, "Oh, why not hire Doug Beswick?" And they were like, "Oh God," they meaning Rob and Sam, where you know, well, Sam, I think was such a fan of you know special makeup effects and things that they thought that Doug would just be too expensive, and they obviously went and saw Doug and made a great deal. Beautiful sequence. There's Bob still working on those hands, those Henrietta hands for Ted. And the shot before this, you saw a stack of molds, appliance molds that we were running. Mark at that time had a big box oven that I think Bob had built for From Beyond. It was a little more sophisticated than what we had on the Supernaturals. So Mark is now working on the back half of the creature there. There's, I think it's Aaron in the back. Bob working away on those arms. Look at the incredible detail. Nicely done, Bob. So there we have Mike is starting to open up the eyes on Denise's life cast. So obviously has his reference pictures. And he's working away. Up. And Mark is coming in, looking at Mike's stuff. This is, I believe that Bob molded this. Bob Kurtzman molded this, and I don't know if it was fiberglass. I think it may have been a stone mold. Another backbreaker. So, and I want to say that this, we built an armature, a loose armature. Maybe Bob even built that loose armature. And it was, we cast foam latex into it and polyfoamed the armature into it. There's Aaron Sims working on the Pee-wee neck. This is the neck that grew out of Henrietta's body that had the crazy misshapen face on the end of it. They call it the Pee-wee head because of Pee-wee's Big Adventure and the big, you know, large Marge change-o thing, you know. So there's Mike working on the Denise Bixler head. Look at the date, April 7th, 1986. So, and there I am in the back working on the Evil Ed puppet. I'm getting ready to mold it. Again, for expediency's sake, I just based out the bottom of it with wed clay, and I had to go pretty fast because, as anyone who's tried to marry wed clay to oil clay will tell you, it just starts to crack like a son of a gun. So I threw that bottom up. We knew it was going to be wearing a shirt, a collared shirt, so it was just there just to bulk out the bottom of the shirt. So threw the wed clay up there and molded it right away. Two-piece ultracal mold, and then I cored it. There's Aaron working on that neck, on the Pee-wee neck, putting in some detail. It was really amazing. And there's the Pee-wee head that Mark had started roughing out. Again, all this work had to be turned over, you know, photographed and turned over, because I think Doug Beswick or Tom Sullivan, one of them did the stop motion version of this as well. Anyhow, that's the way it was going to look. How outrageous, right? Just a completely outrageous idea. Beautiful detail, Aaron. Just gorgeous. Wow.